Hour, where I answer all of your personal questions in all honesty, okay? Now, today's question comes from a guy named Tony Christian, and he doesn't mind us getting a little bit more personal than we have in the past. So Tony Christian has provided a picture so that you guys can reference and we can all help to provide him the best advice in order to make some clear, well thought out decisions, okay? Now, let's jump right into this damn question. All right, he goes, "Good morning, Tasha K. First, let me say how much I love your content. You always keep it 100. I appreciate that compliment, Christian. Toast to you, honey. Now, hello, my name is Tony Christian. I'm 36 and I'm bisexual. I have an issue that needs your great advice. I have been single for a year and a half or more now and have recently started back dating. My issue is, well, I was born with cerebral palsy, which affects how I walk. Don't get me wrong, I am blessed in many other ways. And he put the eggplant emoji. All right, Christian, we see you. You ain't too bad looking. You put your eggplant and shit on display and everything. All right, he goes, no, but seriously, I am starting to see that others are not comfortable with being around me in the physical. In a picture which I have provided, I am sexy and fine. Boy, do I love his confidence. That is some real shit right there. You got people who are blessed in all areas of their life and still have low damn self-esteem, and here he is with cerebral palsy and can't walk that well, and he done told us all in 2 sentences that he is fine and sexy, and his eggplant ain't coming up short. Take notes, damn it. Now, he also goes on to say, nevertheless, after that, when we meet, it is as if I am the ugliest thing walking. Normally in talking and getting to know, I don't tell them in first conversation. Merely it's a part of me, but it's not me if you get me. So I suppose my question is, should I just tell them about my condition first and hope they'll want to get to know me later? Or should I continue it the way that I have? Okay? So basically he's saying he has cerebral palsy and he feels that he's not a bad looking guy. And now that he's dating, he doesn't particularly share that he has cerebral palsy, but when he does end up meeting the person, he feels they treat him as if he's the ugliest thing walking. And so he's asking me, should he continue to not tell them up front about his physical condition, or should he just withhold that information until they meet in person? So this is what Christian wants to know, okay? Now I want to tell you, Christian, okay? I want to say that no, you are not a bad looking guy, and I got to say your confidence is well out there. I get questions every day, and I rarely get people, well, I can't even say rarely, I don't ever get people that send me pictures of them and give me permission to not only air their picture and their first name, but to also let the people know what he's working with. And so I just want to commend you on that, being that you do have a physical condition, and most people that do have physical conditions are much more insecure than a person without any physical conditions. You go. Now, I want to keep it, as you say, you came to me because I keep it all the way 100. Now, to address whether or not you should be honest with someone that you're meeting, and from reading this question that you sent in with my neighbor, because my neighbor is in your position, because my neighbor does have a physical condition, he's actually paralyzed from the waist down. We both looked at it and we had to look at it hard. And it seems as if you're actually meeting people online from what we read when you said that you are a nice looking guy, but when you meet them in person, this is when they start to treat you or act as if you're the ugliest thing walking. And it also seems like you're having conversations with them beforehand, and then when you guys meet, that's when their first physical impression of you is tarnished. And so we came to the conclusion that it seems as if you're catfishing folk. Now you can't catfish folk having no physical condition at all. It's gonna backfire on you like it's been already doing, and that's why you reached out to me. Now, I actually did not at first feel comfortable offering you any advice because I don't know what it's like having a physical condition that limits me and that would cause people to to judge me in ways that you said you've been judged in the past once you meet someone and you didn't tell them that you had this physical condition that was out of your control. Now, I went to my neighbor who is confined to a wheelchair. Now, you can walk. He can't walk, and he's been confined to a wheelchair for 11 or so years. And he's not a bad-looking guy. He's a decent guy. And so I asked him to look over your question because I wanted first-hand experience on what I should tell you so that you can move your dating life in a right, positive direction. And so when we both looked at the question and we studied it, we came to the conclusion that the reason people are looking at you and judging you once you meet them in person and you seem to think that they are treating you as if you're the ugliest thing walking, it's because you're catfishing them. Okay? Now, you can't catfish somebody in your condition by sending them this picture here, which is a nice looking picture. I gotta tell you, if I was to receive this picture here and I saw you, I would be more inclined to want to get to know you more. And of course, it would get my hopes up to meet someone such as yourself who's not a bad looking guy and who has the confidence that you have. But on the flip side, just as I say in one sentence that I admire your confidence, in the other sentence, it doesn't seem as if you're all that confident at all. Because if you were that confident, you would be able to tell them up front what your condition is so they will be able to ask the questions that they want to ask. And my neighbor also discussed this with me. He says that when he meets women, the first thing he does address is his physical condition. And any photos that he does share across social media, you can clearly see him in a wheelchair, and so he's not catfishing these women as you are. And if it were me, I would probably look at you sideways, not only because you didn't tell me up front what your real situation was, but it's your sexuality as well. Not all women are comfortable with their man being bisexual, and I commend you on letting people know that up front. But when you're bisexual and you're catfishing women at the same time, it's going to make your dating life more difficult. And so I think that it's best that you tell everything up front so that you won't have to go through this, so that they won't treat you as if you're the ugliest thing walking in their eyes. I don't think it has anything to do with your disability. I believe that it has everything to do with how you are approaching this situation. And it has everything to do with your approach, because your approach is your first impression. And your first impression counts. But when your first impression is you withholding details like that from somebody who's probably never dated somebody in your situation and has never dated somebody who's that open about their sexuality, you're gonna run into some serious problems. And I doubt you'll find somebody who's gonna wanna really get serious with you because you're not keeping it all the way 100. You gotta tell him from the door. Like me and my neighbor discussed, he doesn't withhold anything from anybody that he's dating. He feels that they need to know before he even carries on a conversation with them, because then he knows that they are truly accepting him for him. And if they have any questions about his sexuality and whether or not his eggplant works, he's able to answer their questions and clear up any misconceptions that they may have when they do meet somebody like him in his position. And so it's going to be hard for you to meet a woman who's going to accept you with both your physical condition and your bisexuality, because most women ain't going to want to deal with that kind of stuff. But for a man, which I think you'll probably have the most success with, men don't have a problem with their man being bisexual. And so most men who date other men who are gay or bisexual typically don't have issues with their partners dating others of the opposite sex. And most times they help participate. And so I just think if you honestly want somebody to take you serious and love you for you, you need to let them know who you are and what comes with you before the two of you take it any further, because it's going to seem like you catfished them, which means they were expecting this, and then they figured out your bottom half really ain't working, and that other half, the eggplant, probably could be dysfunctional because of your physical condition. And so I think that you'll probably have a better shot at your dating life by keeping it all the way 100 from the jump. And a man in your position has to do that, especially if you want to date a woman. Because I got to tell you, that's a lot. The fact that you're not being upfront about your physical condition, which I don't really see is a problem, because once somebody understands that you can take care of yourself and you have been taking care of yourself, I don't think anybody will have an issue dating somebody in your position who's not only taking care of himself, but you're not a bad-looking guy, and you probably can inspire them to do more with their life, and they don't have any physical disabilities. But the bisexual part as a woman, no. Nope. Nada, not gonna happen. I'm not dating you if you're bisexual. I appreciate your transparency, but it's just not gonna happen. I'm just not into that kind of stuff, and most women aren't, unless you're dating Black China. Now I gotta go. Now before I go, quickly, I am gonna leave the question below, okay? Of course, I wanna hear feedback from the viewers as well, so that we can live our best lives, okay? Now quickly before I go, now today we are drinking the Apothic Rosé, okay? There's a label. And in this wine, okay, I know it looks good just by the color, but you honestly taste strawberry, light watermelon, and a hint of raspberry. And I gotta tell you, it's very nice, light, and this is something I would drink at breakfast, okay? Just like we all like to enjoy mimosas or grapefruit mimosas or orange mimosas, a rosé can be enjoyed at breakfast with your chicken, sausage, and eggs and everything else, okay? And you can get this wine, honestly, from your local grocery store for about $9 or $10, all right? And this wine honestly comes from my favorite winemaker's line, Apothic, okay? I've drank the Apothic Crush, the Apothic Red, the Apothic Dark. This is the Apothic Rosé, okay? And you get strawberries, watermelon, and a hint of raspberry in this rosé, okay? And like I said, I will leave the link below so that you can know more about this wine and purchase it yourself, okay? Thank you all so much for watching Happy Hour. If you liked the video, subscribe. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat at UNWINEWITHTASHAK. If you have questions for me during Happy Hour, you can email me via my website, UNWINEWITHTASHAK.com, or you can send me a direct email at unwinewithtashak@gmail.com, and I'll be sure to let you know when your question is live on the channel. And if you didn't like the video, you can still subscribe anyway, just so you can cuss my